Namaste friends, welcome to my channel Astro Tyagi. In this video, this is the second and final video of the series in which I am describing the effects of eclipses taking place on 21st of June 2020 and 5th July 2020. As you know, there was a solar eclipse on 21st of June 2020 and on 5th of July 2020 a penumbral lunar eclipse will take place. In this video, I will describe the effects of lunar eclipse which will take place on 5th of July, and more importantly, I will also discuss the effects of planetary war of Jupiter and Pluto which will take place from 30th June to 10th of July 2020. The lunar eclipse taking place on 5th of July will act as a catalyst in the planetary war of Jupiter and Pluto, and it will make that period far more sensitive than it should be. I will also tell in video how to make the chart of this world, and I will also tell why the western part of this world will be highly affected throughout the year due to the effects of this eclipse. This video will be slightly long because I will explain you the effects of planetary war of Jupiter and Pluto. Pluto indicates masses. So between 30th of June and 10th of July, you can expect many events, many very sensitive events which will affect masses across the world. To give you a hint, the planetary war of Pluto gains immense importance in present times. In March and April, when Pluto engaged in planetary war, almost entire world was locked down. So without wasting much time, let us understand the timing and effects of lunar eclipse taking place on 5th of July first. First of all, understand that the lunar eclipse taking place on 5th of July is not exactly an eclipse, but only a penumbral eclipse. Moon will transit in the penumbra of Earth, so its light will appear to be slightly dim in certain parts of the world. As far as timing of the lunar eclipse taking place on 5th of July is concerned, the eclipse will begin at 3:07 am GMT Greenwich Mean Time, and it will end at 5:52 am GMT Greenwich Mean Time. These are the timings according to the GMT, which is followed in England, that is United Kingdom. To find the timings for New York or America, you can subtract 5 hours from their timings, and to find the timings in Spain, you can add 2 hours. The lunar eclipse taking place on 5th of July 2020 will fall on Sunday. It will fall in the lunar month of Ashad. Ashad is one of the months in the lunar calendar followed in India, and also the eclipse will take place in the sign Sagittarius, which is a dual nature sign. You can refer to my previous video in which I described the effects of solar eclipse. In that video, I had described what happens when an eclipse falls on Sunday, when an eclipse falls in the lunar month of Ashad, and when an eclipse takes place in the dual nature sign like Sagittarius, or you can say Gemini. This lunar eclipse will take place in the sign Sagittarius. I am not repeating those things here again to keep my video shorter. The link to that video can be found in the description of this video. As I just told you, the lunar eclipse on 5th of July 2020 will take place in Sagittarius, which is a fiery natured sign. This sign is of fire nature. From fire comes fiery. Sagittarius is a fiery sign, you can say. So this gains a prime importance because an eclipse in fiery sign results in war threats and army movement. An eclipse in fiery sign also leads to rises in taxes, discontent among masses, very hot weather, scarcity of rains, destruction of crops, especially in the areas where eclipse is visible. It also results in sensational public events and death of some public figures. As we just saw, there were very violent protests in USA, UK and Australia, so some sensational public events can further happen due to the effects of this eclipse. Please refer to the chart on the left side of the screen. Let me show by making a red rectangle. You can see here the red rectangle. The chart inside it is of the time when eclipse will take place on 5th of July 2020. The eclipse will take place in the sign Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the ninth sign. So the eclipse will take place in the ninth sign, that is in this sign, basically in this house where number 9 is written. Let me show you by drawing a highlighted yellow mark. You can see in this chart, you can see that in the highlighted mark Jupiter is also presided. JUP is written, that is for Jupiter, one of the grahas, one of the planets considered in Vedic astrology. Normally, the aspect of Jupiter on eclipse reduces its malefic effect, but when Jupiter is itself presided in the sign where eclipse take place, then what happens that the learned person, dignitaries and rulers of the countries suffer due to the malefic effect of eclipse. In this chart, you can also see that Mercury aspects the eclipse, that is Mercury puts the eclipse under its aspect from here. Let me draw an arrow and show you. You can see the arrow. When Mercury puts the eclipse under its aspect, what happens is that the rulers of the country and the party which rules the country run under a very unfavorable time. Now let us come to the casting or preparation of the chart of this world. Now I will tell you how Vedic astrologers prepare the chart of this world. You all know, okay, if you don't know, then there are 12 zodiac signs in which Sun transits into one sign for 1 month. So it takes Sun 12 months to transit in every sign of the zodiac cycle. The first sign in the zodiac cycle is Aries. So when Sun enters Aries every year on 13th or 14th or maybe 12th of April every year, then at that point of time, at the point of entry of Sun into the sign Aries, a chart is prepared, and that chart governs this world for the next cycle of Sun into all zodiac signs. Or in simple words, we can say that that particular chart is the chart of this world for that particular year or for upcoming 12 months. So in my background, you can see that I prepared the chart on 13th of April 2020 at 26 hours, that is 8:06 p.m. according to my local time, which is Indian Standard Time IST, which is plus 5:30 GMT. I prepare the chart at this moment, which is the chart of this world for this year. Now let me tell you why the lunar eclipse is very important for this chart. Lunar eclipse taking place on 5th of July 2020 will leave a very deep mark on the world this year. Let me show you the reason why. Let us open the Sarvatobhadra Chakra of this chart, or you can say the chart of this world for this year. Well, here is the Sarvatobhadra Chakra of the chart of this world. You can see on the left part of your screen, this entire chart is called Sarvatobhadra Chakra. It is an ancient tool of Vedic astrology. You have to only concentrate the names of planets written in the outermost squares. Let me show you by drawing squares. You can see Sun and Uranus, SU and U are written in Ashwini here in blue color. You can see Mars written in Shravana in blue color. You can also see Venus in Rohini written in blue color. Let me draw a square and show you. So the planets which are written in blue color are the position of the planet which were the position when this chart was prepared on 13th of April 2020 at 26 Indian time. You can also see moon MO written in blue color in Purvashadha Nakshatra. Let me show you by drawing a square. I have drawn the square, you can see now. When moon transits in any particular nakshatra during an event, then that very nakshatra becomes the birth nakshatra of the event. So basically Purvashadha Nakshatra has become the birth nakshatra of this world for this year, because moon was transiting in that nakshatra during the entry of sun into Aries. Now let us go to the time period when eclipse would take place. I would enter the time according to my local time, Indian time, but when you are at your location, you can enter the time which I told before in this video. Before that, also concentrate your mind on the names of planet mentioned in red color. Adra Nakshatra, you can see SU and MO are written in red color in Adra. Let me draw a square and tell you. You can see here. Venus is written in red color in Rohini. You can see red color. VE is written in Rohini. Also you can see Uranus. UR is written in Bharani Nakshatra. Now let me go to the date of lunar eclipse, that is on 5th of July 2020. The time of eclipse according to Indian time is 8:37 am. So I will enter 9 pm in the Sarvatobhadra Chakra. Let me do it. Let me enter the date here. Now I will click on calculate. Now as I have entered the timing of eclipse, you can see that moon in red color, that is MO in red color, is written in Purvashadha Nakshatra. Let me draw a square and tell you. Now as I told that Purvashadha Nakshatra is the birth nakshatra of this entire world for this year, because moon was present in this nakshatra when this chart was prepared, and during the eclipse of 5th of July, moon will again transit in this sign, this nakshatra, sorry, I must say, not sign. So you can imagine the consequences when there is eclipse in the birth nakshatra itself. If you see this version of Sarvatobhadra Chakra in my background, then you can see moon is written in red color in Purvashadha Nakshatra. This denotes the position of moon during the lunar eclipse of 5th July 2020. And this chart you can see that Purvashadha Nakshatra is a part of western direction. Now when there is eclipse in the birth nakshatra itself of this world for this year, then you can imagine the dire consequences of the eclipse, especially in the western direction or western countries of the world. You can see that Purvashadha Nakshatra is in the Sagittarius sign. Sagittarius sign denotes countries like Saudi Arabia, Spain, Australia, France, Madagascar, Naples, Africa, Australia and Hungary. Uttarashadh also represents, or I can say strongly represents, Himalayan region where tension between India and China are running very high due to border issues. There was recently a very violent standoff between these two countries where many soldiers lost their lives. Now let us go to the planetary war of Jupiter and Pluto. Behind me is a transit chart of 30th June. On 30th of June, Jupiter in retrograde motion will leave Capricorn and will go to the previous sign Sagittarius. It will enter Sagittarius from its exit, or you can say from its endpoint, because it is retrograde. In this transit chart, if you concentrate on the row of Jupiter, let us first concentrate on time and date. I have put the date 30th of June 2020, you can see, and the local time of India 7:44 am. At this date and time, if you concentrate on the row of Jupiter, let me draw a rectangle and show you. If you concentrate on the row of Jupiter, you will see that in the column of sign you can see CAP written, Capricorn, and in the column of degree, minute and second you can see 0000 and 00 written. So Jupiter at this particular point of time is at the just entry point of Capricorn, 0 degree 0 minute and 0 second. If I go even 1 minute ahead of this time, then we will see that Jupiter will leave this sign, and since it is retrograde at present, it will enter the next sign from its last degree, previous sign actually, I must say. Let me advance the time by 1 minute, that is, let me go 1 minute ahead. Now as I went ahead by 1 minute only, you can see that the sign of Jupiter became Sagittarius, and in the position, that is degree minute second column, you can see that the Jupiter is at exactly 30 degrees 0 minute and 0 second in Sagittarius sign. At this time only, please concentrate on the lowermost row of Pluto. You can see that the Pluto is at 29 degrees 59 minutes and 9 seconds in the Sagittarius sign itself. So if we take a look at Jupiter and Pluto, let me draw a rectangle on both the planets so that you can observe. You can see that Jupiter as well as Pluto both are in Sagittarius sign and both are within 1 degree of each other. Since they both are in 1 degree of each other, they both are in same sign, they engage in a planetary war. As long as they remain in the same sign within 1 degree, they will continue to remain in a planetary war. A planetary war is a very sensitive period giving very explosive results. Let us keep shifting by 1 day to understand how long this planetary war of Jupiter and Pluto would continue. You can see the date here, 30th of June. Now let me go ahead by 1 day. You can say 1st of July now. I go further 1 day ahead. You can see 2nd of July. I keep going ahead by 1 day. Now we have reached, you can say, 9th of July, and at this time on this particular date, you can see that Jupiter and Pluto are still in planetary war. If we go 1 day ahead, now also you can see that Jupiter and Pluto are engaged in planetary war. But if we go 1 more day ahead, let us go. Now you can see 11th of July 2020. Now at this particular time, Jupiter and Pluto cease to be in planetary war. They are no more in the planetary war. So you can see that Jupiter and Pluto engaged in planetary war with each other for about 10 days, 10-11 days you can say. Let us come back to Sarvatobhadra Chakra of this world so that I can explain planetary war and lunar eclipse in one scene only. You can see Jupiter and Pluto written in red ink in Uttarashadha Nakshatra. Let me demonstrate by drawing a square. And in the nakshatra just before it, in the nakshatra Purvashadha, you can see moon in red color on the day of eclipse. So you can easily conclude from here that the Western world will be highly affected by this lunar eclipse because these both nakshatras constitute the western side in Sarvatobhadra Chakra, or they will affect the western parts of countries in general. Uttarashad is also the birth nakshatra of modern China, PRC, People's Republic of China, you can say. And there is a planetary war in this very nakshatra, and there is eclipse in the nakshatra just preceding it. So this is definitely not a very good sign for China, especially when there is a recent outbreak of coronavirus cases in its capital Beijing. In my previous video of solar eclipse effects, I already indicated breakout of pandemic in the regions where the eclipse was visible. Solar eclipse was very much visible in China and Africa, so you can see many countries facing the resurge of coronavirus cases. This planetary war of Jupiter and Pluto and this lunar eclipse on 5th of July in Purvashadha Nakshatra will definitely aggravate the condition. It will make the condition worse. So what will this basically planetary war do? What it is capable of doing? Let us understand briefly. Pluto is not one of the 9 main planets used for calculation in Vedic astrology, but Pluto is definitely used to make mundane astrology calculations, that is, predictions about countries, entities, and commodities. Pluto affects masses, a large number of people. The number of people, or you can say the quantity, can be any, but it will be in masses only. There can be only 500 people. There can be 1 lakh people, that is 100,000 people. There can be 1 million people, and there can be any quantity, but it will definitely be in masses if Pluto is going to show its effects. For example, you can understand it this way: just before, during, or just after this planetary war from 30th June to 10th of July, certain parts of this world can go in lockdown once again. They can suffer from a natural or other calamity so that a large number of people get affected. Immense level of demonstration can take place in United States or United Kingdom or any European countries. So in such type of public events also, you can say that the involvement of many people is there, and Jupiter Pluto planetary war will bring explosive results out of such events. Many parts of this world are facing frequent earthquakes. So, according to me, according to this concept of planetary war, and according to the concept of Pluto indicating masses, what will happen or what can happen is that a earthquake or any other natural calamity can affect many people during this period due to proximity of Rahu, that is dragon's head, sun and moon in, you can say, Mrigashira Nakshatra during solar eclipse and before solar eclipse. What happened is that its aspect was directly on Uttarashadha Nakshatra, which is China's birth star. So what happened during this period? The lockdown in Beijing took place due to fresh series of, you can say, fresh flurry of coronavirus cases. Capricorn zodiac sign denotes Afghanistan, Albania, Bulgaria, Mexico, parts of these countries, and there are more countries, let me tell you: India, Bosnia, Greece, Bangladesh, and parts of Syria. I already told before the countries represented by the sign Sagittarius. You can refer to that part earlier in the video. So we can conclude that the eclipse in the birth nakshatra of this world will bring immense turbulence for this world in upcoming some months, and the occurrence of this eclipse during the planetary war of Jupiter and Pluto will add a large amount of severity to the results of the planetary war of Jupiter and Pluto. So my advice to you all is to remain safe in this period of planetary war, 30th June to 10th of July. Although we cannot be cautious and we cannot be careful around the clock because we all sleep, because we all go to work, but my advice is to remain a bit careful during this period. There can be many events pertaining to masses, affecting masses in this period. So please avoid going out to demonstrations to protest. Also, please avoid traveling unnecessarily. That was all about the effects of planetary war of Jupiter and Pluto and the lunar eclipse which will take place on 5th of July. I hope you also liked the detailed explanation I gave in this video. Please subscribe to my channel Astro Tyagi and click or tap on the bell icon so that you can receive the latest updates about the videos I post on my channel. The next video that I will post on my channel will be of drastic results or drastic turn of events that can take place during 4th to 6th of August. I will explain astrological reasons for those. If you have subscribed to my channel, you will definitely get its notification. So then, have a good time. I will see you in the next video. Take care. Namaste friends.